Curtis Ellis here on the John Fredericks Radio Network. Curtis, thanks for being with us.
Hey, it's great to be here, John.
Curtis, Senior Policy Advisor, America First Policy. Curtis, I got a lot of fight in me today. Here's what happened. I got 6 hours of sleep. So, after getting 1, I got 6. Now I feel like a new man. Andy Biggs texts me, said, I want you be the first one at 6 a.m. to say we're going to win Arizona. So he's confident about that. Why aren't we counting any votes in Nevada? What the hell's going on there?
You know, I wish I knew. I think it goes back to what you just said about the wimpy bedwetters over the RNC that are afraid for their personal safety.
I think we got something here. Wussy?
Wimpy bedwetters. These are lily-livered, yellow-bellied, egg-sucking dogs that won't fight for their country. And they're afraid, you know, they must have seen that movie Casino or Goodfellas with Joe Pesci, you know, burying bodies out in the fields outside Las Vegas, and they're afraid to go to Nevada to count votes. You know, they think you know, the mobbed up city is going to you know, make them an offer they can't refuse.
Okay,
or
so
something.
Don't take this to. So they had to find a real man to go there. So they sent.
Right.
So they sent Rick Grinnell.
That's right. All right.
They sent Rick Grinnell. He got on a plane. He's already in Las Vegas. He went out.
Good.
Grinnell went out there. He's tough as nails, man. That guy, you know, the former ambassador to Germany, and then he was acting DNI.
He stood up to the entire spook world. He stood up to all the spooks that have been shafting the president since before he was elected.
He said to Rick
Grinnell's out. This information because it'll endanger national security. He said, screw you. I'll stick it up your ass. I have a lot of experience with that.
Oh, my God.
I'm releasing these papers now. No, shut up. Take it like a man.
That guy Grinnell's a beast, man. When Trump wins again, I want him as Secretary of State. If Pompeo decides to do something else, or like Secretary of, like I'd like to put him in charge of the FBI. That's what or CIA.
Yeah, really, that'd be great.
This guy Grinnell. I mean, where did we get this? Guy's an absolute monster. I mean, he's a beast. And like they can't get anybody to go to Vegas. Grinnell's like, I'll go.
Right.
I'll go find out whether or not counting these ballots in Nevada. Oh, Grinnell goes out there. But you're right, these wussy, wimpy bedwetters at the RNC that don't want to go to Philadelphia because it's too cold or something. What is their problem?
They're afraid to get on a plane. Well, actually, you can go from D.C. and get to Philadelphia without getting on a plane. Oh, I get to get on a train. You know, I have to put on my N95 mask. I mean, thank God. You know, you'd only speak in German if our parents' generation had this attitude. It's unbelievable.
Well, you know, we were, I was thinking, we had dinner last night, so everybody just knows that. Actually, you know, when I got back to my place here, I'm like, actually, we were in violation of code something in Washington. We didn't have a mask on outside.
Outside. Are we supposed to have a mask on outside, too? I thought it was inside.
You got to have one outside.
Outside. No, I had one. You just couldn't see it. It was a new...
the invisible mask.
The invisible Romulan mask. Romulan cloaking device mask. Great. It's unbelievable. You know, this virus is so smart. I mean, it had to be... I don't know where it came from. You know, we don't know. And I don't want to be accused of conspiracy theories, so I'm not going to say anything about this. But this virus is so damn smart. I mean, if you... In New York, you don't have to wear one outside. It's not required, right?
Right.
But if you go in a restaurant or you go inside, you have to wear one, right?
Right.
So you walk down the street, and they also, all the restaurants have set up tables on the street, right? Because they weren't allowed to serve people inside. So when you walk up to the restaurant, to the host, and say, I'd like a table, you have your mask on, right? And then once you sit down, you can take your mask off. So now there's people walking by on the sidewalk, 3 feet away from you on your table. Now, you don't have to wear a mask really by law. So most people comply. So the virus knows whether you're sitting down or standing up. If you're standing up and don't have a mask on, it will infect you. But if you're sitting down 3 feet away and don't have a mask on, it will infect you. Very bizarre. And it's racist, too. This virus knows your race, right? It's racist virus. Because if there's, 50,000 people at a Trump rally, you damn well better be wearing a mask, and otherwise you're going to get infected. But there's 50,000 people at a George Floyd rally. It scares the virus away because those are 50,000 anti-racists, so they never go away. I mean, it's a very, very, very clever virus. It must have been come from Mars or something. I don't know.
Let's get to presidential politics. So
yeah, let's get something serious.
Let's get to Atlanta. Fulton County is in. Trump's got a 18,000 vote lead. Is Georgia done?
Yeah, Georgia's done. We're going to hold Georgia. I'm confident we hold Georgia. North Carolina's done. Arizona's trending the way it is. It's the way it should be. Arizona is trending the way North Carolina, what we saw in North Carolina and Ohio on election night. The early votes, the pre-election day mail-in ballots, which are overwhelmingly Biden, they came in first, and we saw Joe Biden run up a huge lead, which melted away like the Wicked Witch of the West when Election Day vote started to be counted. And that's what we're seeing in Arizona as well. Joe Biden ahead. He was ahead by 120,000 votes. Now it's down to 69. Last night at 9 p.m., they dropped a bunch of ballots. His lead went down to 79,000 votes. Now it's down to 69,000 votes when they dropped another bunch of ballots at midnight. So this is going to, and there's still like over 200,000 votes outstanding from early Trump areas. So this is
we're down by about 70,000. There's 200,000 votes outstanding, and we think we're going to get 70% of those. So that gives us 140 to their 60, right? 140 to 60 is a difference of 80,000. They're up by 69,000. We win. So that's what the math is. So that every trend that we have is holding. Everything that the Trump campaign, the analysis they gave us continuously from election night is on target. I'm confident we win Arizona. Now, let's get to Pennsylvania. And we got these Wimpy, Wussy, RNC Bedwetters who refuse to go down there because of the protest or the rioters. What is going on there? Is there going to be lawfare? What are we trying to do?
It's going to be lawfare and train robbery. There's outright theft going on. They're manufacturing votes. They're finding votes. They're finding more ballots. And I'm very, very, very concerned about what's going on there in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is notoriously corrupt. This is like a third world banana republic, and it's run by corrupt city politicians. And they keep finding new ballots. They're probably stuffing every day. New ballots arrive by the mail, right? According to John Roberts, Chief Justice John Roberts of the Supreme Court said, yeah, that's fine. I don't care what the law says, the statute. Pennsylvania law says all ballots to be counted must arrive by Election Day, 7 o'clock. John Roberts says, no, it's okay. Who cares about the law? I can't read anymore. I think it's okay any ballot that arrives by Friday can be counted. It doesn't matter if it has a signature or not, or if it has a postmark or not. That's fine. I don't know what the law says. I don't care what the law says. It doesn't matter if the law says that's not how it works. And so I would not be surprised if some of these ballots that are showing up in the mail and they're not, being delivered to the election board are being mixed in with the legitimate ballots that arrived by Election Day. And you can be sure that the ones that are being mixed in are definitely pro-Biden. Because that's what we saw in Milwaukee, where they deliver, 100,000 in Michigan, where you see 120,000 ballots show up, 100% of them for Biden, right? In Milwaukee, the turnout was like 89%. You don't have 89% turnout in elections in the old Soviet Union.
Yeah,
so
one of the things that Trump said yesterday with some of these Detroit ballots, where Biden was getting 93%. He says like that. There's no precincts where you get 93%. I mean, we always get at least 10 or 15, but Michigan and Wisconsin are gone. They're going to do a recount. I don't know what's going to happen, but recounts never change anything. Couple of hundred here or there, most likely.
No, because they're counting the same fraudulent ballots over again.
Bingo. So it comes down to Pennsylvania now. Because I know we're going to win Arizona. So how do we stop them from stealing Pennsylvania? Curtis, what's the game plan?
The game plan is to send a bunch of Republican National Committee bedwetters up there and threaten them with wet noodles. The game plan is to have ballot security in place and have absolute custody over anything that arrives in the mail, starting yesterday, right? And I would say by armed guard. You would have to have people at the post office or certainly people at the election office. And there has to be preservation of all the ballots that have been counted so they can be reviewed by courts, because there's going to be litigation afterwards. There's going to be, the Supreme Court left it open for a case to be heard, and you can be sure a case will be heard. But we really need to get people into the vote counting centers in Philly, and then the thing is, Western Pennsylvania should hold off on reporting its vote totals until Philadelphia reports. So they're playing the game in Philadelphia. Well, we know how many votes we need to steal this election. Well, let Philadelphia report, then we'll know how many votes we need to counter their votes. And then we can find them in the.
Well, that's what we've been saying. I think that's what Sheriff Clark was saying. Like, where's our ballot harvesting operation? All we do is complain about theirs. Clark was like, we should have invested in the same thing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania months ago. We knew it was going to happen. So let's get our 18-wheelers and find ballots and go to gun shops and go to old people's homes and do what the Democrats do. Get them to fill it out, put it in your attaché case, put it in your satchel, throw it in the truck, and then back the truck up at 5th and Broad Street. Here's a million ballots we got. How are they? Yeah. I mean, right?
Right. Look, this is bigger than Trump's reelection. This is about the integrity of our voting system.
Right.
And if we don't care enough about our republic and about our system of governance, that we can't run an election properly, we don't deserve to have a republic.
Right.
It's outrageous. Look, Florida is a lot bigger, and they got all their vote counting done in one day. They were pretty much done by the end of the night on Tuesday. Why on earth cannot Pennsylvania and Arizona and Nevada and Georgia do the same thing? There is no excuse for this. They're going to have this fancy schmancy drop off your ballot at a ballot box somewhere at a post office. Well, there ought to be 24-hour video surveillance at 10 different angles recording what's going into that box. And there ought to be human beings counting these votes with observers at all places. It's that simple. Enough of this computerized nonsense, touchscreen BS where you have absolutely no idea what's happening after you touch that screen.
John Fredericks Radio Network with Curtis Ellis. Curtis, I want to thank you for giving us that insight today, also for keeping it loose. And we've had a tough 2 days making us laugh so hard. We got 2 great lines today. We got Sheriff Clark's line that said, "Where's our ballot harvesting operation?" And Curtis Ellis, the Wussy, Wimpy Bedwetters at the RNC that refused to go to Philadelphia. Best line of the day. Curtis, thank you for being with us.